Tabitha Oanda. I am originally from Nairobi, Kenya, but I'm currently in the United States as a third-year college student at Boston University, where I study computer science. I consider myself a radical educator because I understand the amazing impacts of technology in my life. So I see tech being used in healthcare, in finance, in transport, even in education, and it's amazing how lives are improved by this amazing technology that we're using. However, tech is only effective if the people creating the tech have internalized the challenges that they're going to solve with the technology. And so because I've noticed the need for more people of color, Black people, people with my background in tech, I seek to educate more people to understand machine learning so that they can contribute to this amazing technology that hopefully solves problems within my community and their communities as well. I am currently studying computer science at Boston University, and I'm going into my third year. And computer science is very broad. It goes from learning how computers work and the hardware to understanding code through programming languages, and then also understanding algorithms and how they work and how we can make them more efficient in the programs that we write. But most importantly, as you move up in your college career, you get to learn about emerging technologies like machine learning, data science, computer graphics. There's a whole bunch of things that you could specialize in computer science. Although I'm not in my senior years because I'm going into my third year, I have decided on my own to learn machine learning, and my niche area within machine learning is computer vision because I think the challenges solved through computer vision are so interesting. Think about it in robotics used in surgery, you think about it in automation tasks like self-driving cars, and soon like self-driving aeroplanes. That's pretty awesome. But all in all, I really think computer science is a broad field that you could immerse yourself in and come out knowing a broad range of things that make you applicable in various industries. My life has been impacted by science in a very unique way. You see, all through my education journey, I was taught how the world works and why it works the way it does, and I was taught to stick with that information because that would make me useful. However, as I've progressed in my education journey and chosen to go into STEM, I have realized that science helps me be a creator. It helps me add to the information that's out there, the information that people need to learn. It helps me be a problem solver, and that just gives me a new sense of worth as an individual. No longer am I just consuming information and being another statistic that went through the education system, but I'm out here creating knowledge, and knowledge that will be used to solve new challenges and make people's lives better. So I would say that science has made me feel more useful in the world that I live in, and I am super appreciative of that aspect of science. I think Black scientists matter because science in itself has the potential to solve so many challenges. However, the solutions are only effective if you have fully internalized the problem that you're trying to address. And so science is also human-centered, We have science that we consider important and science that we consider less important. And so by having Black scientists at the table in these research institutions and in these industries that are pushing out new solutions to challenges in the world today, then we have Black challenges also represented in those discussions. Black challenges are also important science. When we think of the inaccessible healthcare in a lot of the African countries, when we think of unstable electricity or internet connection in certain countries, when we think of the type of pharmaceuticals being developed for people without internalizing people of color in the research, these are all issues that need to have a person with that lived experience addressing them, a person with that lived experience steering the ship forward in terms of getting the solution to these problems. And so I think Black scientists is an issue of representation, and it's also an issue of effectiveness in the solutions that are generated. And that's why Black scientists matter. One thing that I wish I knew before starting college is that I am a valuable scientist right from the word go. I'm valuable right from the minute I start asking questions. When I start saying, why is XYZ, or why is this and that, or how can we address that problem? As soon as you're able to be curious and inquisitive about the world around you, you're a good scientist right from the word go. You see, I always thought that I would be valuable if I took a certain number of classes, if I knew a certain number of programming languages, if I had certain projects on my GitHub, or if I knew certain people in the industry, or if I had done certain internships. But all of that is irrelevant when we think of the value that an individual brings to the table. We need to think about the passion that they bring, and the vision that they bring, and the hard work and work ethic that those scientists have. And so as long as you're willing to put in the work, as long as you're willing to keep asking questions and be passionate and driven, then you have value to add to the scientific field. So my advice to future scientists would be, don't seek validation from things that other people tell you are valuable. Right from the word go, believe that you have what it takes to try. Have what it takes to try start a new project. You have what it takes to reach out to a professor and ask for a research opportunity. You have what it takes to attempt to do a specific class. You could sign up, take it for a few weeks, see how it goes, but never feel like you need a ton of things before you could even start. I would say give yourself a chance. My action plan in terms of career is still undecided, and that's because I'm trying to evaluate the different areas that computer science could take me. And so at the moment, I don't know what I want to do after graduation. I could either go to grad school for computer science, grad school for an MBA, or I could join industry for a couple of years and test the waters as a working professional. So although the next 5 years are quite vague, the next few months are pretty clear. And so in the next few months, I'm trying to build a model that is able to understand dynamic movements in performing arts. So I want to understand how dancers move, how acrobats move, how aerialists in the circus move. How do these interesting performing arts get interpreted by computer systems? And so I want to build a computer vision model to kind of analyze these movements and give us something that we could assess. Wouldn't it be cool to know if you had learned a dance routine by sequencing your movements and the main choreographer's movements? I think that would be hella cool. And so that's one of the things that I am working on over the next few months with my knowledge on computer vision. And hopefully after that, I'll have something interesting that I will share with you guys as well. But thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Sydney Hamilton, and I'm an aerospace engineer. Ever since I was little, I've always been fascinated with the sky, wondering what else is out there. So it made sense that I went to Spelman College to major in math and University of Michigan to major in aerospace engineering. It's so fun to see what you can make and contribute, especially now. I actually work on satellite reflectors, and that's the part of a satellite that brings the signal back down to Earth. So anytime you're using your GPS, you're making a video call, or even tuning into this right now, satellites that I'm working on are playing a major role in it. Outside of work, I love to salsa dance. More recently, I've been working on my scuba diving certification, and I love to cook, but especially eat new cuisines. I consider myself a radical educator because I'll do what it takes to get something done. There are gaps in our resources, there is lacking in mentorship, and that is why it's so important that we have Black scientists. Black scientists matter because representation matters. To be able to see yourself in that role, to be able to see someone that looks like you, who has a similar journey as you, who can relate to you and some of the challenges that you may encounter or will encounter, is important. I can remember looking up as a little girl, and there weren't a lot of Black women in aerospace that I could pinpoint and say, I want to be like her. And so I do hope that in my journey, I'm able to be that for someone else. My plan with my career right now is to go the leadership track. That way I can not only influence the decisions that are being made on our products, but also so that I'm visible to people who need to see someone that looks like them to help inspire the next generation of STEM leaders. So what exactly does an aerospace engineer do? Well, I've had the privilege of working on both the airplane side of things and the space side of things. So I started off as a designer for the 767 and 777 aircraft. I know that's a lot of numbers, but more importantly, they're the big planes. I was also able to work on the 777X, which is the first folding wingtip on a commercial aircraft. And that's actually one of my most proud moments. After that, I worked on airplane repairs. So wherever you were, I was there helping on site and getting these planes safely back in the air. Again, for the 767 and 777, the big planes. After that, I transitioned into the space sector, and it's been a phenomenal experience. I've been able to not only 3D print parts that are going to space, but also be able to see the entire chain of how parts are made and kind of be the overseer. We call them the Responsible Engineering Authority. So from the manufacturing, working with the shop floor, the suppliers, the customers, and so many different teammates in between, I'm overseeing and moving the pieces. Kind of think of myself as a conductor to an orchestra. Everyone's playing all these different instruments, but at the end, you're making this beautiful piece, this beautiful symphony. And so every day is different. Some days I'm behind my desk, other days I'm at a supplier, some days I'm down on the shop floor, and you're making a lot of tough decisions, but it's so cool to know the impact that you're having on the world, and especially right now, being able to communicate with each other. Something that I want to leave you all with is you don't have to have it all figured out. I think I saw a lot of people when I was growing up, and now I see people on Instagram and everyone looks like they're so picture perfect and they have it all together. And let me tell you right now, we don't. You don't have to have it all figured out. When's the last time you heard someone say, man, I've got life figured out? Likely not. Most of the time it's, man, I gotta get my life together. And well, sure, there are things that we can do to help, but really tune into that journey of yours. This is the time to explore. And I wish that I took more time to explore and be okay with not having everything set in stone and perfectly in place, because I think that's what life is all about, is just taking that journey. And if there's anything we've learned from 2020, it's that you can have everything planned out, and guess what? It's not guaranteed. So definitely giving yourself that opportunity, that space to learn, grow, and try something you never thought that you would like. Science has had such a great impact on my life. For me, science brought my family together. Starting with checking out science experiments from our local library. It was a time that my family could come together, and it was a lot of fun just learning, experimenting, and seeing what would happen after mixing these two things together. Felt like that's how my brain worked. It made sense. I was curious. I wanted to know more. How do things work? Why do we do this? And so for an inquisitive mind, for someone who loves to ask questions, it was a great space for me to grow. And then in high school, I had lots of teachers who were very passionate about science. And I was able to really have that dialogue with them and continue to foster this passion of mine. And now, the science that I do keeps us connected. I work on satellites. My name is in space on these satellite parts. And that is so jaw-dropping and unreal to me. You know, when I was younger, I always wanted to fly, and I was always fascinated with the sky. So it feels like I am flying now, just a little bit differently than I imagined. Thank you for joining STEAM Urban for the Power of Black Scientists.